Voltage plus no current equals problems. 2016 Murano. This thing was dropped on me from our Nissan rep. They'd been fighting a no start, no crank issue for quite a long time. The vehicle, I guess the people had moved from Texas. It had some harnesses put in it, IPDM, all kinds of good stuff put on it, and couldn't seem to get it fixed. So I saw a video that was recorded by the customer when it would act up, and we're dealing with what I felt like was something to do with inputs, outputs, and or the starter itself. After 3 days of babysitting this and probably starting it hundreds of times, it finally acted up. So I'm going to play you guys a video that I took of it acting up, and then we'll go over my strategy and some of the results that I got. Not a complicated repair, just an interesting problem, and more about having the scope set up in the right places so when you do get the opportunity to catch it, hopefully you can be on top of it and make good decisions. So check out this little video that I took inside the car at the shop. All right, this is 16 Murano. The complaint is no start, no crank. Right now the key's in the on position. I'm letting the scan tool boot up to check for any codes. If I push the brake, you can see it recognizes it. I'm going to push the start button and it will not crank, but the dash goes blank right there. It should be cranking right now. The display goes blank and now it's back on. There's absolutely no crank. Try it one more time. Okay, that's the complaint. Now I'm going to try to get to the bottom of this. So looking at the video, I knew I didn't have a brake switch issue because the brake indicator went out. The car turned on, so I wasn't looking for any sort of security key issue. I did put up a little screenshot of the consult. I ran up all systems, obviously no codes, and did a CAN topography map. Nothing going on with the CAN system. So I'm thinking at this point, I'm looking for some sort of a signal. This is the IPDM, and of course here's the starter motor. So what I decided to do, and I didn't want to disturb this car too much. I didn't want to accidentally fix this thing and then have to start over at square one. So I pulled the IPDM up and I back probed number 33. 33 basically is I'm getting power through my park neutral, which the park light was on in the dash. So I'm feeling like it was working. So I didn't probe it here. But 12 volts goes through the park neutral, up. And if I have 12 volts here, that means that the controller's not grounding it. So I'm looking for 12 or 0 here. 33 relates to the blue trace. So I had 12, and of course it drops to 0. I had another back probe. Now I did all this at one time. I had another probe on 51, which is the voltage going to the starter solenoid. So basically, if this grounds this, my relay closes, applies power to one side of this, gives the CPU within the IPDM a signal. I can't test any of this. This is all internal. So 12 volts goes here. This guy makes a decision, applies power and ground here, which pulls the contact in here, and then it puts my 12 volts to my starter solenoid and it should start. Well, I'm back probed here at 51, which is the red trace, and you can see I've got 12 volts. So that tells me everything in here is happy. This guy's responding to signals. This is working, this is working, this is working, the BCM's happy, and I'm getting 12 volts. But here is the name of the post. voltage plus no current equals problems. Well, I love to look at current, voltage over current. So the green trace is a current clamp right around this wire. So I have voltage, no current. So at this point, I still don't want to disturb the car too much because it's not starting. I have got to get a probe down here. The starter on this thing is a bear to get to. But I know I've got voltage and I've got no current flow. So I either have an open, which I'm highly doubtful of because this car literally started perfectly hundreds of times. So a completely open circuit here is doubtful, but you know, it's something I still have to check. I obviously have no short to ground because I have no current. So I've got an issue with a connection here, or I've got an intermittent open somewhere in the winding within this starter. So my next attempt is to put a probe here. I need to get a voltage measurement here. So getting to that, I actually found the problem. So I'm going to show you another video of me finding the problem, and then another short video of the two different starters, where the problem is compared to a new one. So hold tight, let me queue up another video.
Alright, so the IPDM sends a signal down this wire. It's your solenoid wire, the single wire that engages the solenoid. This is an intermittent no start, no crank, but I think the solder joint, see all that movement right there? I guess under certain conditions it's not making connection right in here. I'm going to recommend a starter for this thing. Let's see what happens. Alright, here's the old starter. The solder joint is definitely no good. And this actually spins. There's the new one. You can see they took their time and actually made a nice solder joint in there. So we're going to get this thing installed and get an after capture.
So pretty interesting little failure. Definitely have never seen a solder joint loose like that, but if I had, I might have kind of went snooping for that problem before I spent several days starting and babysitting this thing. But anyways, in the spirit of the channel, here's our after capture. So here's our ground being pulled by the BCM. There's our 12 volts being sent down the starter wire, and now we have current. So that's the current that the solenoid is pulling. And of course the car started, and I kept it for about another day and a half and started it a whole bunch more times. Never had the issue again. By the time you're watching this video, man, let me think here. View properties. This capture was taken March 2nd. Today is what, March 24th. So I haven't seen it back. It's been 20 couple of days, so I'm gonna call it fixed. At least I hope so. What I thought was kind of neat though is by the time the IPDM gets the signal from the BCM where it drops that ground to relay, there's a little bit of a delay right there. Right there. Before the IPDM sends the signal down the starter wire. Kind of neat. Computer must have to think about it for a minute. But call this one fixed. I am still working on some more secondary stuff. Hope you guys liked that video that I put out. I'm gathering some info now. I'm going to probably explain some more about burn time and spark KV, basically where it jumps out. But we'll go over a lot more of that as I get more information. But hope you like this little diag. New one for me. Somebody must have soldered that old starter on a Friday at 4:30 with a 6-pack waiting. You guys have a good one. Thanks for tuning in.